I have a name and I have a pin on a map. On this map here, I have the pin of the guy I haven't seen for many years now. And over the years, there's been a series of sort of lost SIM cards. The guy hasn't been able to recharge his phone. And I haven't been able to contact Pak Yadi for many years now. For those of you who don't know, I've lived in Indonesia for a very long time now, about 15 years. It's coming up to 15 years. And before I lived in Bali, I actually lived in West Java for about 12 years. This is where I sort of grew to love Indonesia. Of course, we all have a bit of a love affair anyway, but I really got deep into Indonesia while I was here in West Java. And this is the West Java city of Bandung. When I first arrived in the village that I lived in for most of that time, there were a few problems with the house that we were living in. Always a broken pump, the roof tiles would leak, you need a fresh coat of paint, and you need a guy that can really help you out with that stuff if you're not that handy yourself. And I had a guy by the name of Pak Yadi that would come over quite regularly because the house always needed repairs. And every time I'd go away for a couple of months, I'd come back and there'd be a roof leak or the pump wouldn't work. And I'd call him up to help me out, maybe paint the roof, maybe re-tile it, lots of different work over the years. And he was just a central part of my time here in West Java. When we needed new products to be nailed onto the roof or new sheeting or new awnings or whatever, I would take him on the back of the motorbike and we'd nick around town to different shops and we'd just have a pretty good time, you know. And when I moved to Sanur from West Java, we lost contact with him, and he was always quite difficult to contact anyway because he didn't really carry around a phone. We'd have to contact a brother or a relative, and we've lost that contact now. So while I'm here in West Java, I thought it'd be a great idea to see if I can actually find him in his home village, which is quite some way from where we are here in Bandung. It's in the town of, or close to the town of Garut in West Java. So today I plan to go on this journey and search for Pak Yadi, the missing tukang. So what I know based on that pin location on the map I've got is that I need to get to a station called Cibatu, which is the closest station I can catch a train to. So I've gone down to the train station to catch a local train, which is headed to the place called Garut. I don't want to go all the way to Garut right at the moment. I actually have plans to maybe stay there overnight tonight. We'll see what happens to see if I can find Pak Yadi or not. But so I'll get off at Cibatu and then figure out if I can get some local transport when I'm there, maybe a little angkor, or I don't know. I could even walk. It's an hour walk from there to the pin on the map from that station, so we'll see. You might be wondering how it came to be that I have someone's house on Google Maps but not their phone number. Interesting story. About 10 years ago, I was really interested about where Pak Yadi lived. I wanted to know what it's like in your house. He talked about how he used to go into the rice fields and do a bit of harvesting and so forth. And so one day I got onto Google Maps and I searched around where he said he lived. He said he lived near a mosque with a particular name, and I found that mosque and I showed him, is that the mosque? And he said, yeah, I live down da-da-da-da. He sort of described left, right. And then we found an area on Google Maps which looked like where he lived. It wasn't exactly necessarily the spot that he lived, but he sort of said that looks like it. So I might get there and find out there's some other person living there, and it might even be the wrong village. Honestly, I just hope that it's the right place because I'd really like to catch up with him again. So I'm just about to get on the train now, and there's a big group going on a trip down there to Garut. And I'm actually feeling a little bit nervous. It's a bit crazy really because it's not something I'm unfamiliar with. I travel around on trains a lot in Java and on the bus all on my own and figured everything out. And I don't know why today I have this nervousness going on, and it's a little bit unsettling, to be honest. Okay, we're getting on. I think I'm in the right carriage here. I'm gonna look for my seat. I'm number 8. This is the Masjid Al-Jabar, built at absolutely monumental expense. A fantastic design, a unique design, and it's actually meant as one of the biggest and grandest mosques in all of West Java. It just has a fantastic look to it. You can actually go and visit that place if you're in Bandung and you want to go a little bit further afield and go out to a beautiful mosque like that. Just fantastic architecture. I think the architect was the former mayor of Bandung, former governor of West Java, Ridwan Kamil. Look at that green. That emerald green is something that you don't really get in Sanur anymore these days, and this is due to in West Java having such fertile soils, fertile volcanic soils. It's known as some of the most fertile soils in the world, and the land around West Java is very, very productive. There's sort of a saying in Indonesian where you can just drop a seed
and something's going to grow out of it. You don't really need to do anything to grow food here. It's just so easy. And the ground, the land is so subur, which means fertile in Indonesian. We're looking at the south there, and there's the southern mountains around Bandung, and there are big volcanoes up that way, including one which is called Papandayan, which incidentally is the name of this train. So this train is called the Papandayan. It's the route from Jakarta out to Garut, and it passes by that big volcano called Gunung Papandayan. And you can actually climb it. It's not that difficult to climb. It's not too complicated, and you can even camp up there and so forth. Like, you can get a packet where someone will hike up there, set up a tent for you and cook for you, and all you've got to do is hike up on your own. I've actually done it before, and it rained a lot and it was pretty unpleasant, but an amazing place to go. They've got, like, because it erupts occasionally, they've got like a dead forest up there where it was all killed by volcanic gases some time ago. There's even an old road up there from the Dutch times that's been wiped out by a big volcanic eruption at some point. So I've actually got the economy train this time. These are what the seats look like. You get a little bit of leg room there. You've got a little socket there. I've got my new friend behind me. He's a civil engineer and architect. He wants to go to Australia one day and do his master's degree, so he's saving up money to do that. Get a little bit of an overhead space there. And yeah, economy these days is much better than it used to be. When I first came to Indonesia 15 years ago, the economy trains were not air conditioned. They're air conditioned now. Keep going up here. The other thing is, back in the day, you used to have people smoking on there. You'd have people selling you things coming up and down the aisles, and they had real character. I actually enjoyed them back in the day when they were that raw. But in the interest of progress, things have been improved a lot. And for the same price now, people can travel in comfort, and you need a ticket. What you could do in the past is, if the train tickets were all sold, you could actually still get on the train and just give your money to the conductor. It was almost like a bribe. And I've done that a few times, but they don't allow you to do that now. They want to sort of, it's what they call roughy-cut the process. Make it more true, more proper, make it more international. That's what they've done. Little prayer room there, take your shoes off before you go in there. And then they do have a dining car. And if you don't really want to sit down there in economy, you can go and have a bite to eat and sit down in the dining car like this. And they've got all sorts of stuff you can order down here. Of course, you've got all your noodles and chips and all that sort of stuff. Loads of drinks, hello. And then, yeah, so you can actually sit here and just look out the window on one of these seats. I might actually do that myself. It's just a different way of traveling, really, coming to the little dining car. This trip today on the train is only an hour and 20 minutes, I think. So it's not that big a deal, but when you're on a longer journey, you'll be down that dining car all the time. The other thing about the economy versus executive travel is they're both 2-2. You get a heap more leg room in the executive, and it's just a little bit more comfortable, but you pay double for it. So I've been paying 50,000 rupiah for this particular ticket, which is an absolute bargain, I reckon. When I first got on the train originally, I sat in the wrong seat. I actually went into the executive carriage because it just said number 2 on it, and I didn't realise it was the executive carriage, so I just sat down, and then the conductor came up to me and said, actually, you're in the wrong seat. You need to go down to the cattle class, which I'm happy to do. Like, it's totally fine. For me, these days, the difference between the executive and the economy is so little that I would always go economy, whereas in days gone by, you would pay that little bit extra money because you've got the air conditioning, was just a little bit nicer. Java actually has a very extensive rail network. It used to be a lot more extensive. There were lots of different branch lines, but there are now 2 main lines, Northern Line and the Southern Line, and they go right the length of Java. So if you ever wanted to travel around, it's just such a pleasant way to get between cities and towns in Java. Dead easy. Booking through there's apps you can download to book your tickets. There's mainly electronic now, so it comes up on your app. You can still do the paper thing, I think, but it's just simple, and really pleasant. Like, the views there's always something going on out the window. Like, there's always some dude chopping down a banana plant, or someone farming the rice fields, or trying to wrangle a chicken. Bandung sits in a bit of a valley surrounded by volcanoes, and as you go further east, you have to come out of that valley and up into the mountains again, where it gets very, very hilly and and undulating. So the train actually goes very slow once it gets out of Bandung and up into the hills and starts winding its way into places like Garut. But you can go and catch this train all the way to Yogyakarta or Surabaya or something like that. It has to take that same path as well. But that slow nature of that train makes it just a really pleasant journey to just look out the window for hours and see what's going on. Just some of the views are phenomenal. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the best views today because I'm getting off probably before it gets amazing. But I'll keep my eyes peeled and show you things that I think are really cool. So what you'll often see at these train stations all through Java, even though we're in a fairly remote town, or I wouldn't say remote, but it's not a mainstream town, you'll see these buildings here. That's from the old train system where they had obviously station masters hanging out in buildings like that. You had other staff as well in lots of different buildings which are of that old period from the early 1900s. Terima kasih. Yeah, nggak apa-apa. Makasih ya. Got myself coffee. I'm actually sitting down at the dining car now, as we can see here. So I moved because I started seeing some great scenery, and this particular seat, I'll show you it. Look at that. Straight out the window. And I can sort of have a look at what's going on. So yeah, those sorts of buildings are everywhere. Even when you get to very, very remote towns, and there might be an old station there that's still operational, might only get one train a day, they've got those old buildings there. Sometimes they've sort of been destroyed over the years by not being maintained, and then sometimes they're in pretty good condition like that one, and it just has such great character. So we're in the dining car here, and I've just sat down with these beautiful ladies here. Mau ke mana?
Kita mau ke Garut.
Garut. Kenapa mau Garut? Ada apa di sana?
Kita mau berendam.
Berendam
Ya.
di Cipanas.
Di Cipanas.
Cipanas ya. Jadi liburan kayak gini. Liburan. Pernah ke sana sebelum ini?
Pernah.
Ya, pernah. Sering ke sana?
Lumayan.
Ya.
Sering sih. Aku naik kereta baru sekarang.
Aku lihat kalau ibu Muslim tapi ibu Kristen.
Betul.
Dan untuk penonton saya, mereka mungkin nggak tahu kalau di Indonesia ada Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, ya, itu ada diversity ya. Jadi semua agama boleh, dan ada banyak teman di antara agama juga ya.
Betul.
Ya.
Ini bestie aku.
Oh, bestie. So the reason I wanted to explain that is because sometimes we think with religion it's very strict barriers between the religions, but here in Indonesia, this is proof that religions can flourish and get along with each other. Yeah. Oke, terima kasih untuk ngobrol hari ini ya. Makasih ya.
What's your name?
My name is Adam.
Adam.
Yeah.
What is
I'm from Australia.
Oh, from Australia.
Yeah.
Which country?
Which city? Sydney.
Sydney.
Asli Sydney, yeah.
Oh my god. Kebetulan dia mau ke Aussie. Haven't played for BHP.
Oh yeah? We have a.
Yes,
So if you don't know, so most of my penonton is from Australia. So for the Australian people out there is a thing called working holiday visa, and for Indonesians there is a quota of 5,000 Indonesians who are allowed to go to Australia setiap tahunnya. Ya. Dan ada beberapa syarat, tapi menurut saya karena aku punya banyak teman orang Indonesia yang kerja di Australia pakai visa itu salah satu kesempatan paling bagus di dunia untuk orang Indonesia ya.
Untuk dicoba gitu sih.
Ya.
Sebelum dia ke Aussie kita main-main dulu.
Oh ya? Mau ketemu dia di Australia juga mungkin liburan. Ya. Ya, mungkin dibayarin juga. Oke, terima kasih ya. Sanur Diaries. Yeah. Thank you ya. Okay, we're at Stasiun Cibatu. Oh wow. Beautiful. I think I've been here before. The train used to stop here for a long time if I'm remembering correctly. Back in the old days, I remember stopping here and there used to be sellers getting on the train and selling you stuff through the windows. But now it's a little bit more low-key, but there we go, beautiful station. I can see a little mosque across the road there. I've still got this coffee in hand because I was too busy chatting to those girls back there, and I've got to finish off this coffee. I might just take a seat first and then explore Cibatu and see if I can find Pak Yadi. That thing there is for all the train freaks out there that know what one of those is. It's some sort of I can see some sort of foreign words on there, some Dutch words on that metal there. It seems to ring when it says, hey, get on the train, it's about to leave. Oh, there's another one over here, look at that one. That's another one of those things. It says Siemens Halski. Don't even know what that is, Siemens Halski. You can see at the front there, there's a green carriage. That's called a panoramic carriage, and it's for people who like to do sightseeing on train trips, and they just give you these massive big windows, and then they've got windows on top as well. Hello. There we go. We're being offered an ojek already if I wanted to, so that's easy enough if I want to do that. I was just gonna, I might walk actually, because I just feel like I want to have a bit of a look around as well. Sometimes when you catch motorised transport, you miss some of the cool stuff. Hey, look at that mosque. That is a cool mosque, eh? Like, if you love your architecture, doesn't matter what religion it is, there's always something fascinating about a building that looks like that. Amazing. Okay, we are on our way. That is Stasiun Cibatu, one of those old Dutch stations, once again, looking beautiful, well maintained. The guys back there told me that the best way to go to Passeio de Jankol, if I don't want to go along the main road, I don't want to walk along a big main road, busy road, is to just go through here. And they reckon just climb to the top of the hill and you'll pop out towards some rice field somewhere, and then you'll find your way down there. Now, I do have a map, I've got Google Maps, but what happens in Indonesia is that it doesn't really work when it comes to roads like that. Like, for example, this road doesn't appear to be on the map. It doesn't appear to connect to anything. So you often do have to talk to locals. Like that, for example, that there, little path is not on the map. So I'm going to go up here. Now, I don't know whether I should go left or go straight, but I might just go up here. See where we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah, little path. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. That's sort of a bamboo construction building with nice tiles on it. Not sure what that's all about. Very traditional style. I'm already loving this walk, and I've only just left the station. And that's the thing, I think, or the lesson, that when you come to a place like this, it is sometimes really tempting to get the easiest form of transport immediately, get in a car or whatever, and get out of there, because it's a little bit overwhelming. But normally, it looks like this, an old abandoned building, but it looks like this, and you can have that great experience immediately, like this. Oh, I love it. I guess the thing I've got to worry about now is if it rains, there's no way out of it. I can't flag down someone to come and help me out, so I'm committed now. And this path seems to go straight up this hill here, exactly like those guys said. These guys have just asked me to join them eating some food. Pak, ada apa di sini yang makanan? Pisang. Ada apa lagi?
Ini combro.
Combro.
Ya, isinya oncom di jero.
Aku sangat suka oncom. Aku coba ya, Pak. Combro dan oncom di jero. Oncom. So oncom is like tempe, but it's more rotten. Oh, enak. Enak. It's a gorengan fried. Nah, nggak usah.
Pisang di dalam ini.
Ini enak banget. Agak pedas juga ya. I'll just explain a little bit about what oncom is. It's a Sundanese thing, a West Java thing, where you take tempeh and make it go a lot more moldy, and it gets a really funky taste to it. It has a really deep, funky umami taste. And then you can make it into lots of different things. You can have sambal oncom. You can have combro like this as a fried snack, a bready, doughy snack with the oncom inside and a bit chili. Just beautiful. And it's actually apparently good for gut health. But I don't know, you know, like those fermented things, it's one of those things. Always great to speak with the locals. We got invited with a bit of food. Hello, how are you? Sehat?
Oh, baik.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ya, mari bo. So many nice people. This is village life here in West Java. Very typical, very, very typical. People having, drying their clothes out here. You'll often get people putting their mattresses out as well, so that they can air out the mattresses, make sure they don't get mouldy, make sure you don't get like, I don't even know what the English word is, like bed bugs, you don't get bed bugs, and that sort of stuff goes on all around here. People are so friendly, and it's usually very community based. So everyone knows everyone else's business. They know everyone else, and that's why I keep mentioning this guy's name, because at some point I might run into someone who knows what I'm talking about. But I'm about 3 or 4 kilometers away now from where I think Pak Yadi is from. So it's probably a little bit far. They won't know who he is. But when I get close to that, there's a mosque there that he told me that he lives near. Once I get close to that, I should have a fairly good chance that people know what I'm talking about if I'm in the right village. And that's the big X factor here. Even though I put a pin on a map, I mean, we really didn't know, because he doesn't have an address. You can't just type it into Google Maps and, oh, there he is. It doesn't work like that. He's living in a wooden hut or building surrounded by trees that's not really on a road. Like, how are you going to find him? So that's the only reference point I've got. So yeah, I think I should be okay once I get there. People will know what I'm talking about, and if they don't, they'll try and help. I'm going to pasir jengkol.
Pasir jengkol.
Oh yeah, lewat kebun. Ya, lewat sini ya.
Lewat sini.
Yeah.
Em foto for you.
Foto, boleh.
Siap.
Okay, we're getting a selfie. I'll get a selfie as well. Oh yeah, basah bah. Wet concrete.
Okay.
Yeah.
Siap. Kang dari situ Kang taruh. Siap.
Okay.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you ya Pak Haji ya. Ya, makasih Pak. Ya, lewat sini ya Pak. Oh ya. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I've been given the right directions down here. They say walk along this little path through the rice fields, and I should be okay. It goes to the kuburan, or the place where you bury people. So kubur means to bury, and then kuburan is like the burying place, the cemetery. But yeah, it's sort of a little bit different to, like, we use the word cemetery a little bit more generally than I think here. Kuburan really just means where you go and bury people, and because the vast majority of people here are Muslims and they won't cremate, it's a kuburan. Look at all the trees over there, beautiful trees. It's actually quite stunning. You'll see over there, I'm actually surrounded by big mountains, and a lot of those are extinct volcanoes. Some of them are active, and around here, a little bit south of here actually, is a volcano called Gunung Galunggung, and that's a famous volcano because in 1982 that thing exploded, absolutely exploded. I love that. Here we go, here's the kuburan, so I can go around the side here. That thing exploded, and the amount of ash, so Pak Yadi was telling me what the story, when he was a child, well not child, but when he was younger, that the ash was like 1 metre high all around here. And caused lots of problems. But the thing is, with that ash, it then eventually gets washed into the soil and becomes extremely fertile. It's also the mountain, or the volcano, which caused a British Airways Boeing 747 to lose power to all 4 of its engines and and its windscreen got completely made into an opaque glass because it had been battered by the volcanic ash as it flew through it. Okay, getting a little bit hairy here. Could go down there, but I feel this is probably a better direction. Oh, this is interesting. I'm actually walking through the middle of the cemetery right now. I didn't realise that. I thought I had to go back to that little gate back there, but this is, yeah, cemetery, lots of gravestones. And we keep going. Very beautiful area. Oh, does it come to an end here? It does. I'm gonna have to bush bash through the cemetery, I think. Okay, it's fair to say I'm lost and I need to turn back and find a different path. This is not the right one, for sure. A lot of people that I'm seeing written on these gravestones are not very old people. Lots of kids in here, you know, they're babies' graves. There's lots of young adults, and many people in their 50s are buried in this place. Not everyone has a plaque on it, most of them don't, but the ones that do, there aren't a heap of old people. And that sort of marries nicely with the statistic which shows that the life expectancy of an Indonesian is way below that of someone in the West, way below. But that is improving a lot. By the year, that's improving. And it's a credit to the Indonesian government that they've actually put a bit of effort into improving the lives of locals and extending the lives of locals by giving such good healthcare with the BPJS system, which is the universal healthcare system. And not everyone has to pay for it. If you're poor, you get it for free. All right, I've come back down where the path split before, and I'm just going to walk along this path because it looks like it's got some traffic on it, and it sort of goes in the rough direction that I know Pasir Jengkol is, which is my destination. There's actually a train station there, but the trains very rarely stop there. And for my particular trip, it wasn't really possible for me to get a train there. This looks a lot more promising. There's a little road up ahead. So from there, there'll be houses. I can see houses here, and I'll be able to have a better idea of where I'm actually going. As I walk through this village, it's very, very village-like. You've got the dangdut playing, which is a classic music in Indonesia that will be played more often in villages than it is in cities these days. But it's so Indonesian, and it's very connected to Indonesian identity. It has really strange influences. It's almost got this weird offbeat type beat to it. It's got Indian influences for sure, and the way it's sung is very interesting as well. You'll normally have dangdut at most sort of ceremonies and celebrations in an island like Java, for sure. It's just part of the culture. If you are interested in something like that, make sure you sort of get onto one of your music services and Google, or even on YouTube, Google dangdut, and you'll hear what the music sounds like. I can actually hear it over the valley there. I can hear some more dangdut playing, echoing through the valley. It's just, I mean, if you live next door to it, it's no good because it'll just disturb you. But when you hear I'm just passing through, it's very atmospheric, to be honest. Look at the views, yeah. And these houses here, like, I don't know how much a house costs to rent here, but for example, like a house like one of these, a basic normal house, is probably going to cost you, I don't know, 15 million a year as a guess, maybe less. The thing is, what are you going to do when you're here? Like, do you care? If you don't care, beautiful. Hello. Ya, halo. Mau foto? Foto ya. Ini desa apa?
Kertajaya.
Kertajaya. Nggak jauh dari Pasir Jengkol ya?
Jauh.
Jauh. Oh ya, aku lagi jalan kaki ke sana. Yeah. Yeah. That was funny. Those ladies I just spoke to, I just said, oh, how much does it cost to rent a house here? And they said, oh, it probably costs about 500,000 a month, so about 6 million a year. So I was wrong with my estimation of a 15 million a year price, 6 million a year. So, God, that's cheap, isn't it? You could live a pretty good life out here as well. Really good life. I mean, it depends what you want. If you just want peace and you don't need any activities, this is it. I mean, you're not going to have 100% peace because you do have to put up with some noise from like the dangdut occasionally, or you know, some other festival. But I mean, it's quite good too. Hello. Yeah, look at this, beautiful houses, amount of bamboo. Yeah, it's still quite traditional around here. The mosque will go off 5 times a day as well. If you don't like that, that's bad luck because it's not your village, that sort of thing. I said to those ladies, I've got to see where I'm going to go here. Whether I go straight, look at my map. What does my map say? My map says go straight, so I'll go straight. So I asked those ladies, is it rare to get foreigners coming through this village? And she said, well, this is the first time. So yeah, it's pretty easy to get off the beaten track here in West Java, even though, you know, it's a fairly heavily populated place. Like most places you go, don't really get too many visitors going through there. This one, first time foreigners come through that they've seen. Hey, look at that beautiful view. Nice green. Hello. Lagi apa mainnya? Yeah, look at that. It's just beautiful, beautiful, fertile West Java soil with that beautiful rice there. I mean, it's just incredible looking rice, isn't it? That dark green, that emerald green. Looks like the road stops there, and I'm going to have to jump up here into the rice field, which is okay because it's a fairly decent track along here at the moment anyway. We never know what it's going to get into. We might get into mud and dirt and rubbish. Hopefully I can get through it. I think I can. This is the right direction. I'm right in the middle of paradise on earth here. Look at this. Isn't that just phenomenal? There's even that big volcano or big mountain over there you can see. Look at that, beautiful. The views are just stunning. And again, it's not like I am fairly remote, but it's not like, well, I don't have to travel days to get here, you know, it's still fairly close to civilization. If you've got motorised transport where you live and you're out in a place like this, it's still doable. Uh-oh, here we go. Concrete stopped now. I'm on top of the rice field and it's just rocks which are holding it up here, the irrigation. I hope it doesn't get too dodgy, but it's already slightly dodgy. Looks like the wall collapsed at some point. We'll keep going. We'll keep going until I can't go any further. And if I have to turn back, so be it. I've got all day here, all day, unless it rains and then I'm in trouble. As the call to prayer rings out around the valley from the numerous mosques around here, I just want to sort of give you an idea of where I'm trying to go. There's a little irrigation canal that goes around here. I'm trying to follow that. And I've got myself into a bit of a tricky spot now where I'm trying to take shortcuts through the rice field. I'm still okay. If I can skirt along the rice field here, I should be okay for a while. It'll get me in the sort of the right direction. I should eventually get to another village. Usually villages are connected by these rice field paths, but I just reckon I've gone off the main path a little bit and now I'm stuck, but we'll see. It's okay, I'm not freaking out. You know how they say you've got to be grateful for one thing every day. You should always say, today I'm grateful for this. Well, for me, today, I am grateful there is no rain. Because if it was raining right now, this would be quite unenjoyable, unpleasant. But because the sun's out and it's a little bit warm, I'm really loving it, actually. It's a bit of an adventure, but look at that. Isn't that just spectacular, that view? And I'm here, I'm in the middle of it. And there's no pressure, no fuss, no sort of hurriedness. I haven't got anywhere to be. I haven't booked a hotel today, so I don't feel any pressure about where I'm going to end up. There's a bit of uncertainty, of course, about how I'm going to get to where I'm going, whether I find Pak Yadi or not. But at the end of the day, it'll work out because I know to escape from here, if I really hate it, I find someone who will be willing to drive me somewhere, whether it's a hotel. Like, that's the worst case scenario. There'll always be someone out there who's willing to take your money and provide a service for it. It's just, in Indonesia, you can just roll up almost anywhere. And there will always be someone who's willing to help for a fee. Okay, after that little shortcut through the rice field, I've found civilization again. I've got a sealed road. Beautiful. I don't think I'm that far from Pasir Jengkol. So why I keep referring to that particular word is that's this train station where, the closest train station to where Pak Yadi lives. And it's near the mosque, which I know is a good reference point. So I don't think I'm that far away from it now. If I start speaking to people, I'll start sort of dropping his name around the place. Problem is, there might be a million Pak Yadis around here and I might get introduced to the wrong guy. Hello, how are you? Good. Jalan-jalan ya?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I just got called over by a group of women who wanted a photo with me and invited in for a drink. So I just had a bit of a drink because it is getting quite warm now that I'm walking all this distance. And they said, oh, I thought you were going to visit that other white guy around here. So there is another white guy around here, a Dutch guy who likes Sundanese music. So if you're watching this, hello to you. I'm coming through your village or in the area. He's not in this village, it's in the sort of adjoining village apparently. So yeah, there are some foreigners around, but not heaps actually. I mean, when I say not heaps, I mean there's one in probably in a radius of, I don't know, 10 Ks around here. People are so pleasant around here, so pleasant. That lady just was staring at me and then she said something to me in Indonesian, like, where are you from? And because I answered, then she thought, oh God, this guy, I can communicate with this guy. And she said, you're the first time I've ever seen a white person. I thought it was pretty funny. To be honest, I'm just about done with this heat. Absolutely boiling and I'm sweating like you wouldn't believe. I do have a bit of pace about me as well, coming along this road now, rather than the slow pace I had through the rice fields. I've been going for over an hour now, and I still feel no closer to Pasir Jengkol, but I'm getting there. I did mention the mosque to a guy back there, and he goes, oh yeah, you're close, it's just up there. But I'm still not there yet. We'll see. We will see. Looks like a lot of nicer houses around here. Look at these big houses. Lots of really nice houses. These wouldn't be the 6 million a year houses. These would be a lot more expensive. I'm not sure why there are more good houses in this particular area, but there just seems to be a little bit more money here. All right, we're getting somewhere. Just spoke to the ladies in the indoor market there. I stopped for a drink. And they said, oh, look, I don't know the guy you're talking about, but just go down those alleyways down there. It's really small alleyways. Ask around there. You might have some luck. And it is an area that sort of sounds like where he said he lived. He said he had like 20 chickens or something like that. And they said, oh, there's lots of people who've got chickens down there. Have a look down the road down there. You might find someone who knows the guy. So I'm going to head down there. Let's have a look. Down this little alleyway down here. Kampung Tagog. See if this is the one. Hello. Oh, we'll have a look. First I should find Masjid Al Furqan. I think it's this thing up on the right here. Looks like a mosque, a big one. If that's Al Furqan, I'm in the right area. There we have it, Masjid Jami Al Furqan. We're here. So I'm in the right area, I believe. I mean, he mentioned this mosque, so it must be fairly close to where he lives. I've just got to find people now that might know who he is. I mean, we're pretty rural still. I'm coming close to the old train line, it looks like. I can see a train track over there, so I don't know, maybe that's... He did mention something about the train tracks back in the day. Cari orang, namanya Pak Yadi. Umurnya mungkin sekitar 60.
Pak Yadi.
Ya, dan
Orang mana?
orang sini di sini, tapi aku tidak ada alamat atau nomor kontak, dan dia bilang dia tinggal dekat Masjid Al Furqan.
Enggak tahu di sini kayaknya nggak ada yang namanya Pak Yadi.
Oh ya, oh oke. Aku jalan-jalan lagi, mungkin cari di sekitar sana ya. Okay, that's interesting. She said she's never heard of someone called Pak Yadi around here, so that's interesting. That's not a great sign. Because now I'm getting pretty close. I'll actually pull out my phone again and see if I can find the pin on the map exactly. So I'll show you where I am. I'm here. Yeah. That's Masjid Al Furqan. I'll zoom in a bit. And I've just gone past the masjid, and he's supposed to live over the other side of the train tracks at one of these two spots down here. And it kind of looks like that. I mean, it's probably a bit hard to show on the screen, but basically near a bunch of trees. That's all I've got. So I'm gonna have to, I reckon I'm probably like 300 meters too far away from where he lives for people to know him. Like if he doesn't come up to that warung, like, well, he's not gonna be known. Oh, train tracks. Gotta be careful along here. Beautiful. So let's see if I can find him. Yeah. So I've just got great news. This is a Pak Yadi. He's the local village leader. He's not really village leader. It's not like he's sort of like the local government area leader. Gets sort of voted in by the residents. And he said, yeah, there is a guy by the name of Pak Yadi over near the trees over there, and he's going to just take me over there. And it could be the guy. I hope it's the right one. Well, I'm going to shout out Pak Yadi, and he'll know who it is. And he'll come back and say something like, oh, boss, because he used to call me boss. This would have been hard to find on my own, but I think those pins might be in around about the right spot. So it sort of goes to show that if you're going to ask the right people, someone's going to know somewhere. And this is only sort of a few hundred metres up the road from the last person I asked if they knew him. They'd never heard of him, so it's nice to know. Even the women I just spoke to who live pretty close here, they didn't really know who I was talking about. This guy does. He knows everyone in the village, which is part of his job. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. It does sort of marry up to what he said, that he lived near a bunch of trees. Oh, this is up near the kuburan. Oh yeah, little kebun. Kebun kopi ya, Pak? That's coffee plantation there. Nice. Here we go. What else we got over here? Oh, beautiful, beautiful area. This is the, yeah, we call it kuburan or cemetery. Okay, here we go. Cut through the cemetery down this way. I'm going to shout out his name at some point. Here we go. Ya, ada Pak Yadi?
Ada.
itu lagi cari genjer.
Lagi gennya ke sawah.
Oh, he's in the rice field at the moment. Aku bisa ke sana.
Oh, rumahnya aja.
So this is his house. Yeah. Yeah. So he's in the rice field at the moment doing a bit of work. But I can find him in the rice field if someone knows where he is.
Pernah kerja di Mister Gitu.
Ya, betul sekali, Bu. Dia sering ke rumah saya. Ya, ya.
Di mana di Bandung?
Ya, di Bandung. Ya, di daerah selatan. Oh, I'm in Pak Yadi's house now. This is beautiful, yeah. And Pak Yadi.
Gini mau roboh.
Yeah, yeah. This is Pak Yadi here, yeah. A long time ago, 1991, yeah. So I'm in his house. It's cool. It's cool to be here, you know. Yeah.
Tertarik dipoto.
You're gonna get my photo taken with all the people in the kampung now.
Iya.
I'm actually getting my photo taken a lot at the moment. All the local ladies come around having a photo because there's not too many white guys around here. It's pretty funny. But Yadi's still in the rice field somewhere. He's there for another couple of hours. I don't know if he's going to come back early or not. And all the kids are around. It's all a bit of a game around here at the moment. It's fun.
Ya udah well aja.
So we're still waiting for Pak Yadi here. Been waiting for over an hour now. He's out harvesting. So what he does, Pak Yadi, he goes around to all the rice fields, and there's these they're like weeds that grow on the edge of the rice fields, but you can eat them. They're like a vegetable. They grow wild, and you harvest them, and then you come back a couple of weeks later and they grow again. So you can go around all the different rice fields and you can go a long way and just collect them all. And he does that, and he might make 50 or 80,000 in a day collecting it all. It's hard work because he has to go far because all the ones close to the houses have already been collected, of course. So he goes far around, and that's what he's doing now. Haven't seen him yet, but I'll see him soon. So the story is I've now been waiting now for about almost 3 hours because Pak Yadi's still out somewhere out there. He's apparently he works very hard. So he because he picks all of those veggies and earns between 50 and 100,000 a day doing that, and they share the money and the workload between him and his wife. He has to go out for many hours, and when he gets home, he gives the veggies to his wife, who washes them and gets all the dirt off and makes sure they're all nice so they can on sell. But the plan is that when he does arrive, I'm going to lay down on the couch and just pop up and say, hello. I don't know how it's going to work, if he's going to be shocked or not. Someone will probably tell him before he even gets here, I reckon, because everyone in the kampung knows there's a white guy in the kampung, and he'll know probably who it is, I would say.
Ngajak-ajak ka dia hayang panggil meni hese aing mah.
Hey! Kumaha damang? Pak Yadi.
bos.
Bagaimana, sehat?
Alhamdulillah.
Iya.
Bagaimana sih?
Ya, ya sehat juga. Dia Jakarta sekarang. Ya, aku cari papa. Aku jalan kaki jauh dari Cibatu ke sini. Aduh, papa.
Ada asal mimpi saya benar, bos.
Udah lama ya?
Lama.
Lama banget. Ya, senang sekali ketemu Bapak.
Ya, benar. Tadi dari Cibatu ke sini jalan kaki.
Ya, betul. Lewat kebun. Harus
Lewat sawah.
sawah. This is Pak Yadi. Pak Yadi is a great friend of mine. Hey, if you want to see more about what's going on, I'll show you soon in the next episode. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Senor. A bit of Pak Yadi as well here in Jawa Barat. I'll catch you next time, and sampai jumpa.